Hi, I'm Nick Shell. I am a certified Enneagram coach. I'm glad you're watching this video. We are going to take a look at this book right here, which I have read. I've taken so many notes on it. It's called The Honest Enneagram by Sarah Jane Case. This is going to be an interesting video, very relevant if you are at all interested in Enneagram, because I'm going to look at the lookalikes within the Enneagram world. So, as I recently learned, I'm not the number I thought I was. Man, it's embarrassing, right? Because here, the name of my channel, it actually has Enneagram Coach in it, and I am a certified Enneagram coach. But the deeper you dig, the more you learn, and that's exactly what happened. Thanks to reading this book, I want to personally thank Sarah Jane Case, who will never watch this video. But if she happened to, thank you, because you helped me figure out who I really am. So let's get to it, let's have some fun, and keep in mind, if you would like to learn which Enneagram you are, I always put a link right below where you can take a 10-minute quiz. It's free. You can get a good idea of which one you are. Also, if you'd like to buy this book that I just mentioned, there'll be a link for that. And if there's been 4 people so far since I've been doing this Enneagram channel that have actually become certified like I have by clicking the link below. That's pretty cool. So thank you guys, all 4 of you. Let's get to the fun part. We're going to look at the lookalikes. And of course, this was all thanks to this book. So here we go. So I want to start by saying, for many months, I thought it was a 7 or an 8 or a 7 with an 8 wing or an 8 with it was always one of those. That's how the test showed. But I deceived myself for the past 30 years. I'm 41, but more on that in other videos. So actually, I could just put this right here if the Zoom will allow it. And what you'll see is, you can pause that, you can see, and that's just me taking notes, the lookalikes of the Enneagram. So, something I really took away from this book is that the 3 subtypes matter so much. So for example, with me being a 6, my wife is a 6 too, but you wouldn't necessarily know we're the same. And then our mothers are both 6s. They seem alike, but not like my wife and I don't seem like each other. 3 different versions of that. Well, why is that? It's because there's different subtypes. There's the self-preservation, there's the social, and there's the sexual or the one-to-one, which ultimately self-preservation is all about protecting yourself. Social is about finding connections with people in the room, in your social circle, and then the sexual or the one-to-one is ultimately someone who's focused most on building one-on-one relationships with people. And you can have them in any order. So for example, I'm a sexual 6, but then my next subtype is social. And my blind spot would be the self-preservation 6. So I want to unpack these lookalikes here. So I'll put it this way. If you are a 1, but you're a self-preservation 1, you can look like a 6. If you're a 2, this really gets confusing. If you're self-preservation 2, you can look like a 4 or a 7. If you are a social 2, you can look like a 3 or an 8. If you're a sexual 2, you can look like a 3 or 4. Now for 3s. If you're a self-preservation 3, you can look like a 1 or a 6. If you're a sexual 3, you can look like a 2 or a 7. All right, now moving on to the 4s. If you are a self-preservation 4, you can look like a 1 or a 3. A social 4 can look like a 6. And a sexual 4 can look like an 8. All right, right halfway there. 5s. If you're a social 5, you can look like a 1 or a 7. If you're a sexual 5, you can look like a 4. Now moving on to the 6s. This is where my territory comes in. Self-preservation can look like a 2, which is what I thought my mom originally was, and she is at self-preservation. Social 6 can look like a 1 or a 3, which my wife originally, I thought she was a 1. And she's that social 6. And then for me, 8. If the sexual 6 can look like an 8. And I had so many people fooled, including myself. More on that in future videos. Now, for 7, if you're a self-preservation 7, you can look like a 6 or an 8. A social 7 can look like a 1 or a 2. As for actual 8s, if you're a self-preservation 8, you can look like a 1 or a 5. A social 8 can look like a 2 or a 9, and then an actual 9, social, can look like a 1 or a 3. So no wonder this is confusing. No wonder you can be so confused about it. Hey, my 5 minutes are up. I would love to hear from you. You can leave a comment right there. Let's end this video right now.